racist, Piers.
Now you can
Black
respond.
women cannot be racist to white women. Are you kidding me?
Sorry?
That makes no sense.
Sorry?
Black women cannot be racist to white women. Do you not understand that?
Oh, yes, they can.
You don't have the intellectual
Oh, yes, they
capacity
can.
to understand that.
Oh, yes, they
But that's
can.
very much
And you've been
impossible.
racist to me.
That's very.
Stop it. Get some help.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Varied. That's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And my subscribers, please hit that like button right away for me. Please throw a comment down there for me, too. MAGA, if you don't want to comment specifically on the video, it helps the algorithm. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you stick around. Hope you like what you see. Hope you like what you hear. And please, if you like it, if I earn your like, hit that like button for me and comment. It'll really help it out, and I appreciate it. So today, you want to see some more of that? We got more of that, and a lot more of it. This is Piers Morgan. Haven't had him on the channel yet, but we're going to do it today. And he's with rileygaines. We know who rileygaines is. She's one of these women who have stood up for women's rights and who's tried to keep men out of women's sports. And on the other side, we have that lunatic. And that person is named Blossom, apparently. And Blossom says some off-the-wall things, and a lot of times, Blossom can't shut up. So it's entertaining. It's long, but I'll put some chapters in there so you can skip around if you want. But it's going to be entertaining. Let's go.
So has Trump's trans ban unleashed a new wave of misery for trans people everywhere, as some claim? Or is he simply restoring much-needed common sense in a way that, frankly, most voters fully agree with? But joining me to debate all this is Blossom C. Brown, a transgender activist who sparred with Michael Knowles on Jubilee this week.
Hi.
Hello.
Blossom. She, her, hers powerhouse.
The Blossom Powerhouse. Lovely to meet you.
And the great Rileygaines, who's been a fantastic trailblazer for safeguarding women's rights in all this, is the host of Gaines for Girls on Outkick. You had a front row seat, Riley, at the White House when the president signed that executive order, which was quite a moment. First of all, how did you feel being there for that moment in history, which you've campaigned so hard for?
Well, thank you, Piers, for having me on. Always a joy to be on with you. There was a lot of emotions. Of course, it's a bit bewildering that this is something that's necessary, that a sitting president has to take time out of his day, out of his busy day, to use his executive powers to declare, number one, that men and women are different, and then to further...
Very true. Very true. The fact that we have to even do this is really, really something.
...declare that men do not belong in women's sports. But nonetheless, it is necessary. I would argue that it was urgent. So this type of moral clarity and decisiveness is... I just feel vindicated. The past 3 years, me personally, and I know women who have been fighting much longer than I have, the past 3 years, it's been an uphill battle. Not only were we as women, as female athletes, I guess in particular, not only were we ignored and stonewalled, we were actually reprimanded if we dared to oppose this movement. If we dared to even question this movement, we as women were reprimanded. So to finally have a seat at the table and to have a president who is willing to listen to us, I just feel grateful. I feel grateful for God's mercy that we don't deserve, and I feel entirely vindicated. Piers. And I think that visual, quickly, that visual of President Trump surrounded by all of these young girls, girls with dreams and aspirations and hopes for a future, I think that visual is one of the most iconic pictures that will come out of his administration. And that's saying a lot, considering this man has a mugshot.
Look at that, though. How many iconic photos from Trump? She just said the mugshot, this one with the girls, McDonald's, the assassination, of course. So many iconic shots from Trump. The garbage truck, so many.
Yeah, I mean, the two images I'll be remembering from all that involving you were you with Trump when that happened, but also you being mobbed, literally in a vicious, horrible, threatening way by a gang of people wanting to cause you physically harm. Because you were standing up for women's rights, not least for safety, which seemed to me completely outrageous. Blossom, I can see you making faces there. I've got one question to start this debate with you. Why do we separate the sexes at the Olympics?
You know, first of all, I want to say shout out to Cece Tolfer. I've met her before. She is a magnificent person.
So right away, we're filibustering, not going to answer the question right now. They'll get to it later. Stick around.
And she is very bad ASS, and I love her to death. Let me say this.
We'll come to Cece Telfer in a moment. Cece Telfer might be a fabulous person.
Yes.
I'm going to come later to why I think what she does is completely wrong. But just on the question I asked, why do we separate the sexes at the Olympics?
Piers, if you actually let me get to it, because you let Riley have her talking points, I'm going to actually have my talking point right now. Cece is definitely a wonderful person, and I think let's be clear, Donald Trump is a complete moron. Donald Trump talks so much about waste and fraud, and you're signing a whole executive order banning trans women from playing sports.
Yeah, we could walk and chew gum at the same time. Yes, we could talk about the waste and fraud and do something about that, and we could also ban trans women from men's sports. Yes, we can do both at the same time. See how that works?
According to the NCAA, there are over 510,000 athletes. And within those athletes, there are only less than 10 trans athletes. So you mean to tell me Donald Trump signed an executive order for 0.002 of the population when trans people are only 1%? That's a waste. That is a
You're just contradicting yourself. You're only 1%. Why do we care at all what you think then? Why do we care at all? We shouldn't.
waste. Trans people exist. There are more than two sexes. There are intersex people that exist. And I think that it's nothing more than conservative.
What's the population of that? What's the percentage of legitimate people that are both? What's the percentage? Somebody look that up, or maybe I'll look it up and I'll post it after I do the video when I edit it.
Propaganda that because Donald Trump is in power, he is able to use. I think Donald Trump should stop booty clapping to Elon Musk and actually get something done in this country. And eradicating trans people is not going to be it.
So she still never answered the question about the Olympics. Notice that again, filibustering, changing the subject, talking about everything else but the question that was asked.
Stand 10 toes down.
I don't know. He, she. I get confused. I lose my. I don't speak this crazy language.
On that.
Okay, so
I'll say very briefly, it's this argument that it's a small percentage of the population. I hope you realize it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not for every one male that's participating in a women's sport, it's one woman that's affected. In my sport, at our national championships, one male displaced 14,000 women. And I can speak for myself. I can speak for my teammates. I can speak for 99% of other female competitors on that bull deck. We all felt betrayed. We all felt violated in the locker room. We all felt it was unfair, but not enough people were.
Right. If you want to talk about percentages, we're 99% and you're talking 1%. We win.
Courageous enough to say it because they were terrified. They were terrified of the name calling that you just pursued. The first thing you say is Donald Trump is a moron. What 20-year-old girl wants to be called transphobic or any of the slurs that have been thrown my way? I can certainly attest to.
Riley, I think you're trying to, Riley, I think you're just trying to make it seem like that trans people are a threat to cis women in the breast room, and that's not the case. Trans women and cis women should be coming together.
See, I don't even know what she's talking about right now. I don't know what she means. I don't understand this garbled language, this made-up language. I don't adhere to this. I don't entertain it. If somebody says the word cis, right away I take nothing else you say after that seriously.
Women are not a threat to
okay, but here's the look. Okay? Blossom.
And I think that y'all have ran on that ideology.
Yeah,
y'all have ran on that ideology.
Blossom, hang on.
And you're going to have to specifically tell me cases.
Blossom,
can you specifically tell me cases of where trans women have hurt cis women in the restroom?
Blossom,
I'd like to know that,
Blossom,
please.
we don't use words like cis on here because no one understands it. Let's just...
well, I use cis...
Exactly. Nobody understands it. You could say whatever you want. You have freedom of speech. That's fine. I don't understand what you're talking about. See, I didn't grow up and get in school. I just learned what men and women, and that's it. Female, male. I don't know what all these extra words mean. I just don't.
Gender, so that's where
I'm sure you do, but nobody.
I like to use that in my vocabulary.
Yeah, but nobody else understands it. Let's just stick to my question. My question for you, which you have.
Just because you don't understand, you just don't have the intellectual capacity. Piers. You don't have the intellectual capacity to understand the terminology.
Sorry, Blossom. Just to explain something, you're appearing on a show called Piers Morgan Uncensored. That means you can say whatever you want.
I know all about you, Piers.
Okay, you can.
And I know how you're good at race baiting. I know how you're good at
race baiting.
Now she went to you're stupid because you don't want to use my language, and now he's a racist. He's a race baiter. Incredible.
Transphobic.
It's like every trick in the bag gets pulled out. It's incredible.
And that's why I'm here to face you.
Just to be clear,
face you one-on-one.
When do you think I've ever race baited?
Honey, you remember that whole incident with Sharon Osbourne?
Yes.
Let's not forget.
Oh, I do.
Oh, no,
I do.
But we're not here to talk about Miss Sharon Osbourne.
No. What do you think happened there?
We're not here to talk about Miss Sharon Osbourne.
Yes,
we're here to talk about trans people in sports.
Hang on.
Right, so she could just throw out an accusation on him and go, but we're not here to talk about that. So what she's trying to do, unfortunately, it's Piers Morgan's show and not hers, so he's going to talk about whatever he wants. So what she's doing there is saying, what you did it this time, and then she goes, let's just move on, though. Let me throw it out there so everybody wondering, because I don't know what the hell what they're talking about right now, but she doesn't want him to even have the chance to explain it. Unfortunately, like I said, it's his show and not hers.
Hang on, you've raised...
You are notorious...
Okay, wait a minute.
Piers,
Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about the Sharon Osbourne thing. Let me tell you what. Since you
she said a racist allegedly.
Notorious.
Since you've raised it.
I'm a black trans woman.
Blossom, stop talking for a moment.
And you have cut me off so many times since I've been here.
Okay,
but
Blossom,
Riley, you give
can we have a conversation, please?
You give the white girl all the time to talk.
Can we have a conversation, please?
And the black girl is having to speak.
This mental illness is really, I feel it's sad because this is a mentally ill person that needs help. And I almost feel bad doing this because I almost want Piers Morgan. Why are we giving this airtime? Why are we? And I'm guilty of it now because I'm commenting on it. But at the same time, I'm saying it, though. This person needs help. We can't have a society where this is just encouraged and enabled. This person needs help, legitimate help, to make them somehow see that what they're going through isn't normal. And I'm not trying to degrade the person. I am being sincere in saying they need help.
See, at the moment, the black girl is doing all the talking. So hang on. Can I just say something, please?
That's my opinion.
All right.
That's my view.
Blossom, stop talking. Let me just explain to you why what you've just said is complete and utter nonsense. I'm very glad you raised the Sharon Osbourne thing, as you put it, just to remind people and you and educate you about what happened. I was removed from my job hosting a morning show in Britain called Good Morning Britain because I disbelieved Meghan Markle's claims of racism against the royal family, okay? I never said a racist... Hang on. Let me finish. I never said a racist thing about anybody, least of all Meghan Markle. I've never invoked her skin colour. In fact, on the day she got married to Prince Harry, I wrote a front page story in a national newspaper in this country in which I extolled the glorious moment we finally had a biracial wedding in our otherwise all-white royal family. You might be bored, but I'm going to address your allegation.
Okay,
that
Piers,
hang on,
you're
I haven't finished.
But I'm here to
I
talk
haven't
about
finished, Blossom.
Right, she threw an accusation at him, and she doesn't want him to get to finish his explanation to defend himself from the accusation. That's what the whole game is.
Let me finish. Let me just educate you.
Well, I didn't get to finish.
Let me just educate you with some facts. You've called me a race baiter. You've called me a race. Please stop talking. You've called me a race baiter. I'm
allegedly.
Hang on.
Alleged race
hang on. And you. Right. So let me finish. So what happened then was Sharon Osbourne, who was on a show called The Talk on CBS, now sadly no longer there because they got rid of Sharon. And guess what? Nobody wanted to watch it. And Cheryl Underwood, a black woman on that panel, set up Sharon Osbourne in the most despicable manner imaginable. And she said to Sharon Osbourne, "Why did you support Piers Morgan when he said those racist things?"
Of course you
and Sharon Osbourne, hang on, you can respond when I finish telling you what happened. You can respond when I tell you what happened.
I just want you to know you are
Blossom, you can respond. You can respond when I finished telling you what happened. And you can challenge me on facts.
Go ahead.
What you can't challenge me is something you've seen on TikTok. So let me finish. So Sharon Osbourne was told,
TikTok.
why did...
Nobody said that on TikTok.
Someone's,
it was all over the news here in America.
Cheryl Underwood said...
I think Riley Gaines is about to lose her mind.
To Sharon Osbourne, okay, if you're going to keep talking, I'll mute you. I will mute you, but don't let me mute you. Let me just finish. Then you can respond. Cheryl Underwood said, "Why did you support Piers Morgan when he said those racist things?"
He muted her mic. She's going to keep talking even though nobody can hear her.
Sharon said, "What racist things?" And as a result of that, by getting...
Did I say her again? I'm just going to... I don't know what to say. I apologize.
Annoyed that she was being set up to try and supposedly defend her friend me in saying racist things I'd never said, Sharon got fired from The Talk. And she was left suicidal in the year that followed. That her whole career was sent down the drain because, ironically, the race baiter was actually the black woman on that panel, Cheryl Underwood, not Sharon Osbourne and not me. So I'm very glad you raised the issue of race baiting. But let's be clear, as you're doing now, the race baiting came from Cheryl Underwood to Sharon Osbourne, and it's now coming from you. So now you can respond.
Cannot be racist here.
Now you can respond.
Black women cannot be racist to white women. Are you kidding me?
Sorry?
That makes no
There's the old trope, right? You've heard that one before.
sense.
Sorry?
Black women cannot be racist to white women. Do you not understand that?
Oh, yes, they can.
You don't have to
Only white people can be racist.
Oh, yes, they can.
To understand that?
Oh,
right? You've heard that one before.
Yes, they
That's
can.
very much
And you've been
impossible.
racist to me.
That's very much
You've been
impossible.
racist to me, a white man, by saying I'm a race baiter. Yeah.
How am I racist to you? I'm black. I can't be racist to you.
You call me a race
Are you
baiter with
kidding me?
no
You're
evidence.
racist to me.
When have I
You
been
can
a
be
race
racist-
baiter?
You can be racist to me.
When have I been a race baiter?
But I'm a powerhouse.
Tell me when I've been a race
I'm a
baiter.
powerhouse.
Well, you may be a
Piers,
powerhouse.
understand something.
You may be a
I'm a
powerhouse. You may
powerhouse.
be a powerhouse.
Okay.
When have I been a race
I want you to
baiter?
admit that.
When
He said you may be a powerhouse. He didn't admit anything.
have I been a race baiter?
Okay.
When have I been a race baiter?
Okay.
This is absurd.
No, hang on, tell me.
Honey.
Blossom, give me one example of me race baiting. Blossom, go.
I'm here. At this point, I'm just here to talk about trans women.
Right? There you go. It's just textbook. It's textbook. People are crazy.
In sports, I said what I said.
So you don't have
and I
anything,
to
do you?
Repeat anything.
You called me a race baiter, but you have no evidence I've ever race baited. You admit it?
Do you believe African Americans are
talking about.
superior to
Let's move forward.
Fascinating. Like so many people, you play that race card and you can't defend it. You can't support it. There is no evidence.
It's not. Hold on. Let me check you on that. Let me check you on that. You talk about this race card or whatnot. The race card is reality. My experience as a black trans woman is completely different than yours.
Reality.
As a white cis man.
Well, let me ask you about reality then.
Do not interrupt a black trans woman when I'm speaking.
Oh, don't be so
pathetic. Do not interrupt a black trans woman when I'm speaking. Okay. Riley sits with so much privilege as a
So you
white
can
woman
interrupt me for the last 10 minutes.
Like a halfback
so just to be clear,
Tommy
hang on. Just to be clear, Blossom.
White tears about trans
All right, just can you mute Blossom for a moment, please? Thank you.
You're making
hang on, Riley. So to make the point that Blossom has just literally interrupted me for 10 consecutive minutes without pausing breath. But the moment Riley has the audacity to interrupt Blossom, oh, guess what? That's the moment that the black transgender woman decides this is outrageous. Okay, you can unmute her now.
This feels like an SNL. This feels like an SNL skit.
It does.
Okay.
Preposterous.
Piers, I just want you to remember that Blossom said her base.
Exactly. This is an SNL skit. These were SNL skits and the show In Living Color back in the day. These were actual skits. Now this is what we're dealing with, like I said. And society can't endure this for a long time. You're going to collapse. And that's why, yes, what Donald Trump did is common sense, restoring common sense. Some leader in the world, the most powerful one, said enough is enough of this. Not saying that these people don't exist, but what it is saying is that you can exist. It's a free country. But number one, you're not going to go near children. You're not going to indoctrinate children. And number two, you're not going to be men in women's spaces. And there shouldn't be women in men's spaces. There should not be women in men's locker rooms either, for a variety of reasons. So this craziness, this lunacy, this subterfuge, it needs to stop. Hey guys, if you're still watching, I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button right now. Subscribe. I do one video a day at least. If I don't do one video, it's because of circumstances that were beyond my control and I couldn't get it done. But please like, share, and subscribe and help me grow this channel. I appreciate it.
And perspective of life is rooted in reality. So please remember that as we continue this conversation.
Which brings me to my question, which you haven't answered, Blossom, which is why do we separate the sexes in the Olympics?
Here's the thing. I'm not an Olympian.
Oh.
I don't play sports.
You don't know why we separate the sexes?
I think what you're saying is conservative propaganda.
Right. So if, anybody watching, are you Olympians? But even though you're not an Olympian, can you answer that question? Yes, of course you could, because you're a human being that has common sense. Yes. So there you go.
I think what you're saying is conservative propaganda.
Conservative propaganda.
That you're able
I asked you why we separate. I asked you why we separate the sexes. Why do we separate the sexes?
Again,
why do we have the Olympics
when we talk about trans people, we're talking about gender identity. I need both of y'all mindset to become more expansive.
Right.
I know that's a little hard for
Can
both
you answer
of you.
my question?
Because both of you have.
Right, so you need to change. Your mindset has to change. Of everything that human race has ever learned for the past billion years, you need to change now. This started with that show with that kid Jazz. And I listened to Andrew Wilkow for years. And back then, he said, and he was right, and this is 8, 9, 10 years ago. He said, there's going to come a time soon where if you, as a man, don't want to date that person, you will be the bigot. You will be the crazy one. You will be the intolerant one. And man, was he right. He was so far ahead of the game on that. He saw it coming from a million miles away. He was right.
Can you answer my question?
I understand that's hard for both of y'all.
Can you answer my question?
Can
you answer my question?
Again, when we talk about trans people, we're talking about gender identity. We're not just focused on sex.
That's not my question.
What y'all like to do is reduce conversations down to sex.
What you all like to do.
And you try to apply it to what's happening in the Olympics, okay?
And I'm asking you
trans women should participate in the Olympics.
Get your own league. Get your own event in the Olympics. That's fine. Get your own league. And if people want to watch it, the league will survive. If people don't want to watch it, the league will fail. Again, that's capitalism. That's free market. They don't like that either.
The next Olympics,
Blossom, is spreading misinformation.
Blossom, I don't want to have to mute you again.
Conservative propaganda.
Okay, next Olympics will be in America, in Los Angeles. I'll ask you one more time. Why do we separate the sexes in the Olympics? Why do we have men and women competing separately? Give me an answer.
Well, Piers, won't you tell me the answer since I don't know?
You don't know the answer? Oh, Riley's got a hand up. Riley.
She has no answer. He has no answer. Whatever. There's no answer that they can give.
Riley, why don't you educate? Why don't you educate Blossom?
Since I don't know.
Riley, why do we
No, if they give the answer, their whole narrative falls down.
separate the sexes in the Olympics?
Because men and women are different. We have different physical ceilings. It's the same reason why you have any category. It's the same reason why we have the Paralympics versus the Olympics. It's the same reason why we have
Stick around for what happens when they ask him about the Paralympics.
weight classes in boxing. We don't have weight classes in boxing because we are fat shaming people who weigh more. No, we have weight classes because it would be unfair. We know the outcome. Every single person, kindergartners, know the outcome of what would happen if we had a 220-pound man fight a 170-pound man. It's the same reason why we have age divisions. We don't have 12 and unders or
She doesn't
PV
know
leagues.
that. What if that 220-pound, wait, what if that 170-pound man has the agility to beat that 220-pound man?
And what if the Earth gets hit by an asteroid tomorrow?
That makes
So
no
you want to
sense.
base all of
I'm
the
so
Olympics off
sorry.
of exceptions?
Your answer makes
Off
no
of exceptions.
sense.
Makes perfect sense. We're going with the exception is the rule here. It doesn't work that way. The exception is not the rule. And that is an extreme exception if it ever happened.
That makes no sense.
Well,
Y'all don't know
bottom
anything
line, it
about
doesn't make
somebody's
sense to you.
biochemistry.
It makes
Somebody's
sense to
biology you do not
99%
know.
of common
You do
sense.
not
Actually,
know, Riley.
100%
I'm
of
sorry.
common
You
sense of
absolutely do
individuals.
not know about somebody's biology.
You just admitted you're not an
Everybody's
athlete.
chemistry
You
is made
admitted that
differently.
you have never competed at the highest level.
And see, this is the thing. I don't have to be an athlete to talk about this because this affects my
You just said you weren't an athlete. That's why you weren't going to comment on the Olympics.
said you couldn't answer because you're not an
All right, you know what we're going to try? Why don't we try? Okay,
You're not an Olympian.
can we please stop talking at the same time? If you talk at the same time, Blossom, if you talk, Blossom, if you talk at the same time, nobody can hear either of you, okay? So Blossom, let's start with you again. A simple question. I'll tell you why they separate the sexes, just as Riley has. It's because men have a physical advantage over women, which would mean that women would not win more than a handful of medals in the entire Olympics. Would you be happy if it was a gender-neutral Olympics?
Why are we?
Hang on.
Why
Answer
are we
my
saying
question.
this about women, though?
Answer
Women
my question.
are just as strong as men.
I'm asking you.
I'm sorry. Women are just as strong as men.
So
women
just to be
are
clear,
as powerful as men.
okay.
And I don't believe that.
Okay, Blossom.
You can believe whatever you want. You're wrong.
That's just your opinion.
So
That's
Blossom,
not always fact.
Blossom, if the world #1 tennis player...
No, it's a fact.
I don't buy it.
Okay, you know that Serena Williams admits that she would be beaten by the top 1,000 men in the world at tennis, right? You know that, do you?
No, I did not.
You did not know that.
She has said that.
So,
The 203rd
Okay, where's
ranked
the?
player.
you don't know that.
Can
You don't know why men and women get
can y'all
separate
show me the
Olympics?
receipts?
I have the
I would like to
receipts right
read
here.
those receipts.
Both Serena and Venus Williams lost.
Are you
in a
waving them?
blowout.
Are you waving them around?
What?
You can
Okay.
look it up to the 203rd ranked male player. He drank in between sets, smoked in between sets, and played 18 holes of golf before, and admitted that he played like a 600 male ranked player. And they lost in a blowout, and they are phenoms, the best of the best. No other woman for a while even could come close to them, and they got beat by a man. Let me repeat it. In a blowout, the 203rd ranked male player, who admitted he played like a 600 ranked player, drank, smoked between sets, and played 18 holes of golf.
Blossom, just
I can't take it when, you're giving me facts. Bye. It's incredible.
to be clear, would you want the American Olympics, the LA Olympics, would you want them to be gender neutral where the sexes compete with each other?
Absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think as long as
do you also believe
It's completely insane.
Men and non-binary
Do you
people,
also believe
then yes,
that we should
why not?
combine
It's completely
Why not?
insane.
This country was built on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
No, it wasn't.
And all those
Exactly.
countries
This is
trying to
why
get rid
that's
of
not.
No, it wasn't built on that. This country's not built on diversity, equity, inclusion. It wasn't built on equity. It was equity is equal outcomes. It was not built on that. It was equal opportunity.
That does include cis women like.
And you know what you would do?
Hello?
You would exclude all women from winning medals. Well done.
That's also very
That's not true. That is not true. Can we talk about Leah Thomas? Now, I bring up Leah Thomas because Riley knows her very well. I bring up Leah Thomas because the reality is, yes, she won some games, but Leah also lost some games to cis women. So there are some cis women who are faster than Leah. There are some cis women who are stronger than Leah. And again, when we talk about genetics, there are some cis women that have natural higher testosterone levels than trans women. That's why some of
I'm confused. I don't even know what's being said right now. I'm lost.
them may look more masculine. Iman Khalif had to experience that transphobia, which, by the way, transphobia affects all women. And now that Trump has excluded trans women from playing in sports, all women are going to be subjected to rigorous tests to make sure that they're not trans. And that does include cis women. I don't care how feminine they look. You could potentially be subjected to these rigorous tests because Donald Trump took his peanut head, red, orange behind and signed an executive order that he doesn't even know anything about. He's a convicted felon, 34 felonies.
Here we go.
Right? We also need to be focusing on letting convicted.
I just figured out where this person should go. On The View. They should be in the panel of The View. Get rid of Alyssa Farrah Griffin. She serves zero purpose on the show at this point. I want Blossom. I want Blossom on The View. I think it would be must-watch television for every crazy person in the country.
Felons in this country vote since we elected a convicted felon, right? There's so much more work. The economy is tanking here in America.
All right, Riley.
Gas prices are high.
Okay.
Why is Trump focused so much on
I love how this leftist talking point about gas prices and everything's high in 30 days of Trump's presidency, which they were when he came in, high and out of control. Never said a word for Joe Biden's 4 years, and now it's Donald Trump's fault in 30 days. Really just so pathetic.
Because he wants to preserve the integrity. Because
guess what?
I'll tell you
You're
why.
not
I'll tell you why,
trans.
Blossom. Because he's
You're
up
not
it.
trans,
I'll tell you
Piers.
why, Blossom.
I'm a woman.
Hang on,
But I'm a woman,
Riley.
Blossom.
Hang on. Blossom, here's why. Because he's up against complete lunatics like you who think it would be right to have a gender-neutral
Well, honey, it takes one to
Olympics.
know one.
A gender-neutral
And if I'm a lunatic,
Olympics
let me
is
be a
the
good
most insane thing
lunatic, honey.
I've ever
Let me
heard
be a
from any
powerful
trans
lunatic.
activist
People
in
like
history.
Blossom
Lunacy.
are exactly why
Well, you
Donald
haven't met
Trump
me.
won
Well, you haven't
and
found that
on
until you met
November
me. I'm not your average trans
are
woman, in case you
exactly
didn't
why
know.
Donald Trump
I'm not
won
your
and
average
on
trans
November
woman.
Riley.
People like Blossom are exactly why Donald Trump won on November 5th. I believe.
Oh,
of course,
girl,
people
please. Girl,
embrace
please.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump rigged the election, which is why he's sitting in office now.
He rigged the election? How? Rigged it?
And he's sitting up there booty clapping.
Yeah, mute Blossom, please, because she can't stop talking. Riley, you respond.
People turned out, I believe, in masses to the polls on November 5th to embrace Donald Trump, to embrace the America First agenda, to embrace his cabinet picks. But more so, I believe people turned out to the polls to reject absurdity. And that is exactly what the past 30 minutes have been on this program, Piers. Is totally, entirely, and thoroughly absurd from top to bottom. Saying there should be a gender-neutral Olympics?
I know.
Are you serious?
Madness.
Do you also believe, Blossom, that we should combine the Paralympics and the Olympics? I would love to hear an answer to that.
Okay, I'll ask her. Bring back Blossom.
Here we go. Ready?
Blossom, should we combine the Paralympics with the regular Olympics? Have them all compete with each other?
I mean, why not? And to go back to Riley's point to
why
that
not?
last
Yeah,
point.
okay. You are completely insane.
Let's go back to that last point.
Yeah,
No,
so
because
no
she actually
Paralympian
said
would win a
something
medal.
that I wanted to respond to.
So no
But the
Paralympian
thing
will win a
is-
medal. So your diversity,
thing
equity,
is,
and inclusion
people
turns
went
out
the
to be
polls
unequal
because
and
they
doesn't
wanted
include
a better economy.
any Paralympian
People
or any
went
woman.
to the polls because they want prices to come down. People went to the polls. They went to the polls to vote because they had every right to.
Yeah, and they
I
voted for
just wanna
Donald
make sure
Trump.
I
And you know
clear
why?
that up.
You know
When we
why they
talk
voted for
about-
Trump?
A lot of people voted for Trump because they want to end this nonsense.
Donald
Because
Trump rigged
people
that
like you
election,
have turned this
honey. I
debate
don't
into
care
a
what y'all
total
say.
farce.
Donald Trump rigged that election. Donald Trump does not even have the capacity to even run
Okay,
this country.
mute Blossom
That's
one more
why he's
time.
such
So I want to thank Riley. Thank you, Blossom. Riley, thank you for engaging in this in the best way you could have done. I think when we have somebody who, with a straight face, says that the answer to this debate is that we have a gender-neutral Olympics and we allow Paralympics and the Olympics to morph into one event, and says this is about DIE, when in fact what it does is it removes any equality for Paralympians or women, so no disabled people competing.
He said DIE instead of DEI, and that's triggering Blossom. But I think it's like a Freudian slip because DEI is DIE.
Would ever win, and then women wouldn't win either more than about 2 or 3 medals, because we all know that's why they separate the sexes. If that is DIE at work, that is why DIE has been a travesty. DEI, I'm sorry. It would be a travesty. So, Riley, thank you. Congratulations on getting this over the line.
How dare you get that wrong?
Hopefully we'll bring some sanity and equality and inclusion back to sport, which is what we want. Bring back Blossom. Blossom? Blossom, what are
Are
your...
you done saying DIE? It's DEI.
I know, I
It's DEI,
corrected
Piers.
myself. I corrected myself. The whole thing is absurd, whichever way you want to put the letters.
I just can't get over that he said he's rooted in reality. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, but Blossom,
Girl,
thank you.
I like how Riley, she said he, not buying into it, not playing into the game. And that's how you have to do it.
So, but Miss Tommy Lauren looking girl, go on.
Miss Tommy
on.
Lauren looking good. Well, funny enough,
Tommy Lauren is
I'm about to
beautiful.
have Tommy
I think
Lauren on the
Tommy
show,
Lauren is
actually.
beautiful.
Tommy Lauren reject, go on over there somewhere.
Ad hominem. That's
you
all
were
the
saying,
left
Piers?
has. They have violence
What you
and
want
they
to say,
have
Piers? Miss Thing, go
slanderous,
on.
petty personal
Go on over there and
No,
advocate.
also, you realize you
go
make
on over
every
to
single
Donald
trans
Trump.
person, every single trans
Yeah.
activist look bad.
You do,
every
yeah.
single one of them.
You know what?
You make them all
I
look
represent
terrible.
myself.
Which ones look good? Tell me. I mean, Jenner, maybe?
I represent myself, and what I'm doing is facing off with fascists and racists.
Right, there you go. We go right back to that. It's just incredible. It's all I have.
on live air, and I'm okay
guarantee
with that.
you.
in my
Fascist,
opinion.
racist, and
What
transphobe.
I spout on
Yeah.
Piers' show,
I
I can
said
guarantee
what
you
I said. I'm
likely will
sorry.
not be
Fabulous.
right.
I can say, Blossom, I do want to congratulate you. Seriously, Blossom. You have been, without a shadow of a doubt, the maddest trans activist I've ever had on the show. Congratulations.
Oh!
Riley, thank you very much. Thank you,
Piers.
Blossom.
Yeah, it wasn't a compliment, Blossom. I'm exhausted. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm exhausted, mentally exhausted just watching it. But that is where we are. But it's, like I said, Donald Trump bringing some sanity back to the world. We need the rest of the world to speak up. The rest of the world. It's okay now. Okay, you got the green light to say what you really think and talk about how this is insane. You can do it now. The leader of the free world is giving you the green light, which is why you have all these companies, again, as fast as they could, pulling out of all this stuff. And if it was profitable, they wouldn't pull out this fast. Believe me, it's not profitable. It's not. I don't care what studies they want to bring up. This has been morphed into a box checking, a box checking marathon. That's all it is. Check as many boxes as you can. And here we go. That my companies, we're all, we're down with the cause. And it's not going to be good for your company. It hasn't been good, which is why as soon as they got the green light, a lot of them bailed. Thank God. Thank God. Divine intervention that Donald Trump is president again now. It worked out better off. It worked out better. I'm going to leave it there. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Are you as exhausted as I am? Oh, man. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Like I said, please hit that like button for me. If you're new and you like what you just heard and what you saw, please subscribe. I'm glad to have you here. And I'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.